Hey y'all, what's up? So I decided to have my mic in the shot today instead of out of the shot to see if I like it better or if y'all like it better or both. So like I kind of mentioned before, I want my channel to kind of take more of a conversation route, talking about life, talking about things I feel like nobody else talks about, real talks about real life, you feel me? Meanwhile, I'm chasing my own unprecedented dreams while trying to graduate college. So yeah, but today's conversation is going to be about how to not get lost in life or the strategy to not getting lost in life. We're just going to talk about it. I mean, I am going to give kind of like tips here and there about how I do get lost in life, but it's really few and far in between. So I don't know. I just want to talk about it. And yeah, so let's talk about it. Alright, so first, in last week's video, I know y'all heard me talk about how I don't really know what I'm doing with my life, and that is still kind of true. But I was really putting emphasis on how I was just kind of in the dark, but I'm not lost, because those are two very different things. So being in the dark and being lost is not the same thing. But the main thing keeping my head above water right now is definitely my faith in God. So I wanted to kind of keep going off of that and use that to explain how I don't get lost in life very often and have a conversation with y'all. So if you don't quite know your purpose yet in life, that's okay, because a lot of people don't, but that's not really what I'm getting at. If you don't know your purpose in life, I would say like a good place to start is doing everything that you do with purpose. Like even like the small stuff. Like anytime that you pick out what you want to wear or even pick something to eat, like any small thing that might seem like it doesn't have any significance, do that with purpose. Like don't do stuff randomly, aimlessly, just because you can, just no reason behind it, just doing stuff just to do it. So even if you don't know your purpose in your entire life, have a purpose for that present moment that you're sitting in right there. So like when you eliminate the habit of doing stuff aimlessly and for no reason, and you do things with purpose in the moment that you're in, it will snowball into something bigger and greater, so you can not even feel as though you have purpose, but actually have purpose, because you will find it when you start taking your own self more seriously. Because if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody's going to take you seriously. So when you take your own self seriously and do things with purpose, you can feel like, I guess, more in control of your life, and that will probably reveal what your purpose is, because you can probably see better. I would say just don't do stuff for no reason. Like I don't know, sometimes if you like out with your friends, sometimes I'll be just doing stuff just to do stuff, but very, very rarely do I do things for absolutely no reason. Because, not to go off on a tangent, but my biggest pet peeve is when people waste my time. I cannot stand when people waste my time. So if I'm doing something for no reason, there's no purpose behind it, to me, that is equivalent to a waste of time. I'm not going to waste my own time. I'm not going to waste my own time. It's never going to happen. So yeah, that's kind of my motivation why I do stuff with purpose all the time. I mean, yours might be different. Like you might do things with a purpose all the time because you feel as though if you don't, something bad will happen. I don't know, but whatever your reason for it is, just do the little things in the present moment with purpose. Don't do stuff for no reason. Just that doesn't even make sense to me. So yeah, outside of finding your purpose in life, because I feel like that's kind of a different thing. I mean, it's not different, but it's still not really quite what I'm going for here. What I'm trying to say is like, find your purpose in that present moment, because when you're living in the present moment, it's very rare that you're going to get lost or too like off track. I feel like when you're living in the past, living in the future, that's kind of how you get lost, and you don't really know where you are because you're not here. Stay here, be present. And to do that, do things with purpose. So another thing I want to talk about when I'm talking about, strategies not getting lost is, honestly, I felt like I probably should have started off with this, but, having a relationship with God. And your relationship with God is going to be different from my relationship from God, and vice versa. Like, don't let anybody make you feel that the way that you choose to interact with God is wrong, because first of all, you're not gonna have to answer to them. You're gonna have to answer to God. So your relationship that you have with him is between you and him. So when you start letting other people interfere or like kind of be in your ear about the way to do things, then it's not a good thing. So I'm not saying have a relationship with God like this. I'm saying just to have one, whatever that looks like to you. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like when the autonomy is taken away from the person who is responsible for having the relationship with God, when that's taken away, I feel like it just goes downhill very fast. Like when you tell somebody, this is how you should do it, this is how you should do it, I don't know, it's probably not going to feel authentic to the person, which is probably why they might not want to do it. So I don't know, that's kind of a tangent, but I'm just saying, like, whenever in my relationship with God, he opens up a lot of doors, and the way that happens is kind of hard to explain, but I'll be in a place where I'm just kind of stuck and I don't really have nowhere to go, because everywhere I go is kind of like a lose-lose situation. And like, it'll be something will come up that I would never would have thought of it would happen that way. And the reason why I give God the credit is because, one, he deserves credit for everything, but two is because it couldn't have been anything else. Like, I mean, some things might be coincidence, okay, sure, but not everything is a coincidence. And I feel like if you really with me here, if you with me, then you know what I'm talking about. Like, when doors just open and it just like blows your mind, because like that couldn't have been nobody but God. And so when you're in like a stuck place in life or in a lost place in life, but if you have that relationship, however that relationship looks like, then he's gonna have your back. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it's almost impossible to truly get lost when you have God in your life. And I mean like in your life. I'm not talking about talking to him every now and then, like only hitting him up when you want something, because I'm not going to get into the definition of a relationship, because I feel like if you're watching this, you're smart enough to know what a relationship is. So it's mutual, you feel me? It's not really going to be the same if it's not a true mutual relationship. It's got to be meet in the middle all the time. Like, you talk to him and he blesses your life. That's just kind of how it goes. But however way that you choose to go about it, then that'll be your way. Just know that a relationship is necessary. So another thing I want to talk about with y'all is embracing your emotions as a strategy to not really getting lost in life, and just not stuffing down those bad emotions that you don't want to deal with, because when you have that happen, like, it can kind of cloud your vision. When your vision is cloudy, it'll lead you to a lost place, and you did not see how you got there, because the thing that's clouding your vision is those emotions that you're choosing to not deal with. I don't know what they are. I don't know you like that, but I know that you know what it is. Don't get clueless on me now. Don't get clueless. I don't know why I feel like. Now, come on. Sometimes it really is like, if you're a girl, if it's like hormones, sometimes you really don't know why you're mad. But most of the time, you know what's bothering you. You know what's bothering you. Have the courage to face it and deal with it, so you can stop. I feel like when you have emotions that you stuff down, you're not lost all the time. It's just that it happens often. Like, you get lost and you're back. You get lost and you're back. And it's like all this back and forth, like all the time. And it makes me dizzy just thinking about it. So to get unlost and to stay that way, just deal with that thing that is putting that tightness in your chest. You know, I don't know what it is. It might be hard, but it's better to just kind of do it than to stay there for your whole life. Why would you want to stay there for your whole life? You know, that's not good. So I remember this one time in high school. I've always been a good student, even like now, you know, always just A's and B's or straight A's even. So my junior year, when it was time to take the ACT, right? I didn't. Everything I thought I knew, like when I tell y'all, I was knocked down a couple pegs. Like, that test was like, you not smart. Girl, I did not do good. On my first time doing the ACT, and it really did something to my self-esteem. And so I didn't really deal with it. I just kind of let myself feel how I felt, or just let the test define me or whatever, right? And so it did lead me to like a lost place. It was almost I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't even recognize who I was. I was like, who is this person that is feeling all dumb and low self-esteem now, when I was always like felt good about myself that I would do good in school? And then it got to the point where it was like the opposite of that, which is not even who I am, like outside of my character, all because of a test that I did not really deal with how I felt about it, you know? So I don't know. That's just an example. I don't know if that's like that great of an example or not, but it's really about when something happens and you choose to just kind of brush that thing off, knowing that it bothered you a lot, and then you wake up one day and you do not even recognize yourself. Don't get to that point. Don't get to that point. And even if you do get to that point, don't feel bad, because we all like make mistakes. We're all human. So whatever your point is might be different for somebody else. It's all relative. But just don't let it get to your definition of a breaking point, because it ain't even worth all that half time. It ain't worth all that. Yeah, just take care of yourself by dealing with those emotions and then staying out. I'm not gonna say staying out in the dark, but staying not lost. And I forgot to mention this earlier. I meant to talk about the difference between being in the dark and being lost, because there is definitely a difference. So I would say being in the dark is you can know where you are. Just because it's dark does not really change the fact that you know where you are. So like if you're in your house, right, and all the lights are off, are you lost? No, you're not lost. You know it. You know your house well enough to the point where you probably don't even have to feel around in order to get to where you're trying to get to. I mean, you might stub your toe, but you still gonna get there, right? Or like when you're driving and it's dark outside, you know where you're going, right? Just because it's dark, that don't mean you don't know where you're going. Being lost is when you do not know where you're going, or you just do not recognize whatever kind of path that you're on. It can be broad daylight outside and you can be lost as all get out. So that is the difference between the two. It doesn't, like, light and darkness does not matter when you are lost. Now, being in the dark, you can be perfectly fine, perfectly not lost, and it's just dark. I hope, Lord Jesus, I hope that makes sense. I feel like it don't, but I'm gonna just roll with it anyway. So those are the difference between the two, and that's pretty much all I have for y'all today. I was really glad I got to have this conversation with y'all, and I'm glad if you took the time out of your day to have the conversation with me. I really appreciate it. But let me know what y'all want to talk about next week, and if you don't let me know, then I'm gonna pick for y'all. But until then, stay healthy, stay optimistic, keep trusting the Lord, and I will see y'all later.